Hello, Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus placements. I hope you're well. Thank you so much for being here. I'm Jen with Timeline Tarot, and this is your new moon in Cancer message. It is a general collective reading. So as the messages come through today, take what fits, leave what doesn't, because if it's not your message, it simply means it is meant for someone else to hear. And please check your other placements, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus. And if you're not sure what those placements are, in the description box of this video is a link where you can obtain your free birth chart. All right, Scorpio. A little bit of a biggie for you here. You will be changing your perspectives. It is beginning with the new moon in Cancer on July 14th. This will unfold for you very naturally over the course of the next 4, 5, possibly 6 months, and broadening your perspectives. What does that mean for you? Well, for you, it means, sorry, Samuel got my attention there, changing your beliefs. Some of you really, this new moon could like spark an urge within you to want to like deepen your spiritual beliefs, maybe get into esotericism, become healers, if you will. Could even be like shamans, Reiki. Some of you may dive more into tarot, possibly even become tarot readers yourself. And then I have a group of you where you really want to change your perspective about life. So travel might become very important for you as a result of this new moon in Cancer. And I don't just mean like far away travel to far away lands, but more like local travel, so you can like enjoy life a little bit more. So let's see where we go with this message here for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus placements. What else do my moon babies need to know for this new moon in Cancer message? One more shuffle. Thank you. There's also a feeling here of like higher learning. So it doesn't just mean higher learning in terms of like religious or spiritual beliefs. Higher learning could even be some of you wanting to go back to school or take a class or a course as well. So what do we have for you? Solitude. In silence, peace prevails. And at the bottom of the deck, we have overcoming obstacles. You can overcome anything. Tell me more about this here for Scorpio. Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus placements. I get the feeling some of you will be coming out of a place of solitude. I think this period of your life where maybe you didn't have a lot of people in it was actually beneficial to you now as your life is changing. Because I think what you've learned during that period of solitude was you can do anything. Like you can overcome any obstacle. I have a feeling like I'm speaking to a group of you where you have really undergone a lot of emotional or financial hardships on your own. And I think it's made you stronger. One more shuffle. Thank you. We have the Nine of Wands. We have the Queen of Cups. And we have the Six of Cups. Bottom of the deck, we have the Four of Wands. Oh yeah, I definitely am speaking to a group of you where maybe you didn't have a lot of people in your life, or if you did, they really didn't know everything that you were going through. I'm speaking to a group of you where you have been quite wounded and you spent a lot of time in solitude, healing those wounds or dealing with some difficult challenges. Even if it's not just you, people connected to you going through difficult times and you trying to be there for them. And meanwhile, you don't really have anyone, you know, to lean on. Tell me more about that Nine of Wands here for the Scorpio collective. One more shuffle. Thank you. Nine of Wands clarified by the Empress. What didn't kill you made you stronger. Queen of Pentacles and the Knight of Cups. Bottom of the deck, Ace of Wands. That is absolutely the truth. So I think this period of solitude that you have been in, if this is your message, I think a lot of you were left on like to your own devices when it came to like emotionally fulfilling yourself, financially providing for yourself. I think for a lot of you, that was like, I want to say like the last tests that you needed or lessons that you needed to actually step into the role of the Empress, whether you're masculine or feminine, because the Empress is a very nurturing energy. And I think you spent a large portion or chunk of your life nurturing other people, but maybe not nurturing yourself. And so this period of solitude, which I have no doubt in that Nine of Wands has been difficult for you, you probably have found new inventive ways on how to nurture yourself. You'll also be nurturing yourself differently moving forward. There's something very emboldened feeling like, again, you know, what didn't kill me made me stronger. I've learned that I can overcome anything, right? I really don't need anyone. I really don't need anyone is the feeling. And I think that's the exact place where you want to be, because the people you draw into your life, it should be because you want them, not because you codependently need them. So I think the period of solitude was maybe meant for one or two of you to break you out of some type of codependent addiction or habit that you had in your connections. way more emboldened Scorpio collective now as a result of what you've gone through. Queen of Cups. Tell me about the Queen of Cups. One more shuffle. Thank you. Queen of Cups, clarified by Two of Swords, the Emperor, and the Page of Swords. And now you're ready to take action. Because while the Empress is very nurturing energy and wants to birth and create, you know, ideas and relationships and experiences, the Emperor is the king of all kings. And they now take action. And I think what maybe up until this point you haven't seen, because kind of blindfolded here in that Two of Swords, is that everything that you've gone through has made you more resilient than you were prior to all of those experiences. You've learned that you really can overcome anything. When the world is falling apart around you, you know exactly what to do now moving forward. It's like you're a little bit more prepared, dare I say, than the other 11 zodiac signs, regardless of where Scorpio is in your chart. There's a little bit more, you know, nothing's going to knock me down for too long kind of energy. And it's not from, and like, it's not coming from a bitter place. It's coming from a very like emboldened place. I want to say that if some of you are single or you have been single, maybe what you needed to do was to shed the codependency on another individual, whether that was for emotional or financial reward. And now that you know that you're good on your own, you don't need someone, it's possible that Emperor now is someone that you are attracting into your life, right? The Emperor would be our equal, not someone who takes care of us type of thing. So it's possible for one or two of you that was something here that you had to break, was being codependent on someone else, even if it's just for like, you know, emotional fulfillment. I think you learned the hard way to take care of yourself. And yes, it's possible for some of you with that Six of Cups that now you actually have a strong soulmate coming in. Or if you have someone already in your life that you're partnered, that connection now with that person will grow stronger because you're now stronger. You're now more resilient. Clarify that Six of Cups here. One more shuffle. Thank you. Six of Cups, clarified by Five of Cups, the King of Cups, and the Death card. I think that this period of solitude that you've been in, I think it enabled you to become stronger. I think you learned how to overcome things on your own. Right behind that, we have the Miracles card. So expect wonderful miracles here to emerge. Then we have Choose Your Path and a Transformation card. So I think a lot of big changes here happened for you as a result of this period of like either being alone or feeling alone. And now you, like I said, either your current connection is getting stronger or you have a new person here coming in. You have definitely changed, whether there's another person involved here or not. You have definitely changed. Anything else we need to know about the transformation? And you know, when we go through these periods of silence and solitude and feeling so alone, that is oftentimes what deepens our connection to the universe or to God or to spirit, whatever you want to call that other entity. I know before, you know, I entered a period of solitude, I wasn't a very spiritual person. I would go get tarot readings once in a while, but I didn't really connect to spirit guides. All of that language was very like foreign to me. But being alone, when all you have is yourself and your cat and the universe or God, whatever you call it, you naturally start to deepen the connection with that. And I think for a lot of you, that transformed for you as well. And maybe a lot of you were called to tarot specifically for that reason, because you were going through a difficult time and you were searching for answers. So let's get 3 more cards on this, please. One more shuffle. Thank you. We have the Ace of Swords. Everything I said is the truth. The Knight of Swords and the Three of Swords. Bottom of the deck, Four of Pentacles. There is definitely something here with like that heartache and feeling alone or feeling like there's no one to turn to. There was magic in that. And I know some of you going through it were like, no fucking way. But I'm telling you, you're going to look back in a couple of months and you're going to be like, I understand why I had to go through all that. It was almost like the universe's way to shape you or change you or transform you. Because now when you draw people into your life, professionally, platonic, or romantically, it'll be because you want them, not because you need them. And I think that's what had to change here. And I think for some of us, as someone who's part of the Scorpio collective, the universe probably had to break our heart a couple of times for us to get to that stage of enlightenment, that stage of spiritual growth, and also that stage of building resilience within ourselves and not really needing anyone. I have like 3 people in my life today. And, you know, I'm the person who, once upon a time in this town, no matter where I went, everyone knew me. I didn't know everyone, but everyone knew me. I was like so heavily involved in the community. And those are very shallow connections that I had, I have to be honest with you. And now I have like 3 people in my life. And before those 3 people like were, you know, came into my life or the bonds with them deepened, I was alone. Holidays, birthdays, you name it, moving, cleaning out the house, like I was always on my own, having to do everything, keep a roof over my head and clean my house and take care of my cat and take care of me when I was sick. And it certainly made me stronger. It also made me value connection differently. And it made me realize that no matter what comes before me moving forward now in life, I don't really need anyone. I want people in my life, but I don't need anyone. I'm okay on my own. And that's what the last couple of years taught me. And I think for a lot of you, you went through something similar. So let's get you 3 cards of advice and we'll close it out with a Moonology card. 3 cards of advice here. One more shuffle. Thank you. Your advice, Queen of Wands. The Knight of Cups shows themselves. Oh, no, that was the Knight of Swords. Knight of Cups and the Fool card. There you go. Bottom of the deck, 7 of Cups. This really is giving me the feeling of like, I can handle everything. I really can. I can handle everything. The only queen that we don't have on the table is the Queen of Swords, but we do have the Ace of Swords. So I still feel like there's a little more work to do, and that's probably what's going to happen over the course of the next 4 to 5, 4, 5, 6 months or so. But this is someone who can stand on their own. This is someone who's charismatic. This is someone who, again, I look at the Queen of Wands often as someone who does not necessarily need a king. I think your heart is a lot more open now, but I also think your heart is a lot more discerning now. You definitely are on a new path here. And I like that in that 7 of Cups card. This is like now you being able to like pick and choose the realistic from the unrealistic connections in your life. You no longer just need to cling to a cup just to have a cup. I think you learn that you can fill your own cup, and you're good if you have to do that for a while. I think you're understanding better that maybe some of the connections in your life weren't all that. Like there was fantasy or there was illusion, or people who left you confused. I just think now the path is open for you to find more solid connections in your life. But again, it's coming from a place of want, not a place of need. There's no desperation here in the cards whatsoever, right? We don't have 5 of Swords. We don't have the Devil card or anything like that. So I think the period of silence was necessary for you, although while you were going through it, it was probably terrible. I would expect you to connect with one, 2, maybe 3 other people between now and the end of the year, and that will really become your tribe for your inner circle moving forward. I think you're going to have a smaller circle, a more spiritual circle, and people that are really in it for the long run, and people who are just like you, not codependent, needy people. Let's get a Moonology card here, please, for the Scorpio Collective. One more shuffle. Thank you. What do we have? Step out of your comfort zone, North Node. Well, that's typically what we have to do when we find ourselves alone or in solitude or dealing with something difficult and we can't really share it with the people around us. It requires us to step out of our comfort zone, to nurture ourselves, to heal ourselves, maybe to overcome obstacles or do things that we never thought that we could do on our own. Bottom of the deck, a new cycle begins. New moon in Libra, new romantic cycle as well. So again, Libra is the house of marriage and partnerships and connections, whether they're professional, platonic, or romantic. I think you are drawing in different types of people. If you're currently in a connection, I think it's strengthening because you're no longer codependent. If you're single, I think you're drawing in an equal, someone who maybe went through the same things that you did, but they're not codependent either. And as for your friend circle, like I said, getting smaller or stronger, but definitely in 2027, you're going to be like, either your romantic partnership is going to radically change or you're going to find yourself in a more solid one, or your friend circle is going to change. And again, it's drawing in people that are more like you and probably people that are more on the spiritual path, and superficial connections, I think, will be leaving your life. But that is what I have for you, my dear. In solitude, you grew. And as a result, you became the emperor and the empress of your life. That is huge, Scorpio, huge. That is what I have for you. If you like those messages, they resonated with you, you want to claim all or part of them, please be sure to click like, share, comment, and subscribe. Hype the video on your mobile device if you're able to do that. And don't forget to check out your other placements. And of course, if you want to watch the collective new moon and Cancer reading, I'll be posting that later today on Patreon. And information on how to watch that will be pinned to the comment section below. Until I read for you again, which will be fairly soon, I'm sending you light, love, and peace.